audio? All right. Very good.
Mark, what's been the most challenging part of the transition stepping into the defensive coordinator role here?
I think just, not having your leader. Coach Snyder's been with us for a couple of years now, so that's obviously a huge change. But I think when it happens the way it did this late in the season, everybody's so locked into what they're doing. We immediately hit the recruiting trail. Our players, we're locking in on their final exams. Our young coaches had a chance to go in and look at our season and self-scout ourselves and then get into the breakdown with West Virginia. So I think everybody has still been full speed ahead in terms of their roles and their responsibilities. But I think that's probably the biggest thing is when the face of your group, the leader of your group is no longer there. I think that's obviously a huge change. And, I think the way we've approached it, we've just, come together collectively and really two things we want to do. We want to send these seniors out the right way with a win. They've certainly provided so much to our program and Texas A&M University, and then we look at it as a possible jump start, to next year, especially with our young guys coming back. So, like I say, it's been full speed ahead, and everybody's had, their jobs and responsibilities. Players finishing up with their final exams, and we've gotten off to a good start.
Middle left here, KO.
Kevin O'Connor, WTAW. Coach, you said you self-scouted. Did you learn anything or pick up anything in particular? Obviously, you're not going to share some of it, but
Sure.
Was there anything glaring that?
Well, certainly you want to
you?
look back at what you've done throughout the course of the 12-game season and really pick up, things that we've done well and certainly look at the things that we haven't done so well and really kind of hone in on the things that we're confident in doing from a front standpoint, a pressure standpoint. And that's really what we want to do with our players moving forward. We want to have a plan, obviously, that has enough bullets, enough ammunition to go attack West Virginia, but at the same time, we don't want to do too much and handcuff our guys mentally. So, we hit that recruiting trail, I think it was Monday the 1st, and then immediately our young guys, our GAs, our quality control coaches just went in and looked at our defense from all aspects, whether it be front play, linebackers, a secondary, coverage standpoint, blitzes, everything. And like I say, we were able to look at it as a staff and kind of hone in on the things that we want to carry forward and, again, give our guys enough or provide enough ammunition to go win a football game, but at the same time not do too much.
Go to the far left there, Cease.
Robert Sessa, Bryan College Station Eagle. Mark, so much has been made of the offensive tree with the three, but as an outsider looking at the West Virginia offense, since Dana has left, Kevin, what might he have tweaked? What might be a little bit different about his offense and, let's say, A&M's offense?
I think the difference that jumps out to me and some of the other coaches is I think they do a little bit more from a run game standpoint. They give you more personnel groupings. I think the passing game is very similar, but a few more run concepts and more personnel groups is probably the thing that jumps out first and foremost. Tempo-wise, they're going to go fast, and we certainly see it every day in practice. So, it's going to boil down to communication, like it always does. Communication, getting lined up, getting the calls in on time, all that stuff that we're used to doing. So, but those are the things that jump out as maybe a few more run concepts, a few more personnel groups.
Over here to the left, Suzanne.
Hi, Suzanne Halliburton with the Austin American Statesman. They've got possibly two quarterbacks with Clint Trickett and then his backup. How does the offense change when Skylar Howard's in as opposed to Trickett?
That's a good question. Trickett has been more of a sit in the pocket. If he feels pressure, he's going to try to escape and find an open receiver downfield. He will occasionally run if there's nobody around him, but he's going to slide or get on the ground. Whereas Howard, there's certainly a lot more run game with the quarterback involved. And, that jumped out first and foremost to our staff last game when, he had the start against Iowa State. They ran what we call some diamond formation, three backs, and they ran some power reads, some quarterback draw. So, and that's a big part of his game. So the good thing is we've seen plenty of teams this year that have given us that. And that's part of what I talked about earlier. We want to have enough ammunition going in to counteract the possible quarterback run game, but again, not try to do too much.
Over here to the right, Sam, then Brent, come down front.
At linebacker, I guess how's Otara physically, and then I believe someone has said Josh Walker was going to be out, and what's the plan to replace him?
We're probably health-wise similar to where we were at the end of the season. Otaro is practicing right now, but he's had some health issues. I think anytime a young guy plays that much right out of high school, maybe he's not ready for the physical demands of the SEC. So, I think all our guys across the board, to be quite honest with you, are beat up. But I think Coach Sumlin's provided them a great plan. That first week in December, we went out on the road recruiting, and those guys didn't have a lot on their plate from a physical standpoint. And then that second week of December, they kind of came back and started practicing later in the week. And then this week was final. So I think today will be practice 5, as I count it. So we've gotten some good work in so far. But again, to answer your question specifically, we're as good as we can be at this point in the season. And I expect to have Otaro and Sean Washington and the guys that we had finishing up against Missouri and LSU. Josh is odds are probably against him playing, to be quite honest with you. So that's just kind of where we're at right now. So
Down front, Brent.
Brent Zorneman, Houston Chronicle. When was the last time you've called a game on defense or been in that type of situation? And personally, how much fun and exciting is it for you to do that? And do you also kind of consider it an audition as well?
I guess you could look at it that way. I'm focused in on providing our players the best plan moving forward to win a football game. And whatever comes out of it, we'll just let the chips fall there. But I haven't sat back and said, hey, this is a chance for me to audition for something bigger and better. Again, I just looked at it as an opportunity for our staff to come together, rally our players moving forward, and try to go beat West Virginia. I've done a lot in my career, not to sit up here and give you a resume, but I've done a lot of different things. I've been a coordinator, special teams-wise, but have not called a game as a defensive coordinator. So from that standpoint, it'll be a challenge. But again, I look at what we've done in practice going against a similar style of offense. We're practicing fast every day, and I look at every practice opportunity as an opportunity to make calls, get them out quickly. If we're getting tempo, we've got our automatic checks with our defense. So, I'm going to lean on Terry Joseph, Terry Price to obviously, roll their sleeves up, with me and go out and get this thing done.
Other questions for Coach Hagen? To the back there, Darrell. We'll get the mic to you.
Darrell Bruffett with KBTX. Coach, can you talk about, I guess, your history with the Liberty Bowl? I think there is a short one.
Very short. I played at Indiana, and we played in the 1988 Liberty Bowl against South Carolina. I was a redshirt sophomore at that time. I was coming off of 3 back operations after my freshman year, so I was pretty much a spectator. That night, though, we played pretty well. I think we won 31-10, and it was a great way to finish the season. So I know Memphis has got a great history of being very hospitable. The Liberty Bowl is one of the longest tenured bowls out there, and I know our guys are fired up in making the trip to Memphis here another week or so. So it's an exciting time, and I say my fondest memory of that night was winning the game and finishing the season the right way, and that's the plan, on this end for our guys.
Anything else for Coach Hagen? Sam?
You mentioned a lot of young guys probably, have gotten time, and obviously will get time. But what do you want to see out of those guys come December 29th?
I want to see us line up and play fast, play with confidence. And I think there's a process to that. I think, middle of the season when we had gone through some bumps and some trials and some tribulations, we rolled up our sleeves as coaches and went back to the basics. And I think our players saw a correlation with how they practiced and how it carried over to Saturday. And certainly those last couple of weeks against Missouri and LSU, we didn't get it done as a football team, but we put ourselves in position to win both football games. And I think that was, again, a direct correlation as to how we practice. So I've seen good energy so far from our guys, but that's what we're going to continue to focus in on here in these days leading up to our departure to head to Memphis. And I think as coaches, between Terry Price, Terry Joseph, and myself, we just want to see our guys line up, play fast. There's going to be a challenge in terms of tackling in space. We know we've got to do that. We've got to limit the explosives. They're a very, very explosive football team, especially when you look at the receivers. White, number 11, is an outstanding player. And then number 5 is outstanding as well. Those guys, I think, provide half of their explosive plays. I think they've got 65 plays of 20-plus yards on the season, and 33 are from those 2 players. So we're going to have our hands full, and again, it'll boil down to getting off the field on 3rd down, trying to create some turnovers. But just line up, play fast, play physical. If we do those things, play with some emotion, we'll give ourselves a chance to win.
Anything else for Coach Hagen? Down front here, Brent?
Where will you watch the implosion from?
Probably look at it online at some point after it happens. To be honest with you, I'm gonna. That's Sunday.
Sunday morning.
Sunday, yeah. I know I'll be at home with my 5-year-old. Always wants to know if I'll be home in the morning. So Sunday morning I'll be at home with her, and we'll probably watch it online.
Anything else? All right, Coach Hagen, thank you very
Yep,
much.
thank
We'll
you.
get Coach